Live today, and I always have to readjust this after I start because it doesn't show it to me right until we get going. Welcome in. If you are coming in live, say hi in the chat. I am going to pull it up on a screen down here, and if you are on the replay, if you are catching this later on, let me know when you came by. I hope you'll drop some comments to tell me your thoughts of the project. If you enjoy what you see, then maybe you will like and subscribe as well. Spread the inspiration out there is what I say. If you want to share the video to friends, I am going to share it over to Facebook right now because I do have some friends over there that like to see the projects that we do here on YouTube as well. So let me see if I can. Here we go. Share, copy, and let's go over to Facebook and we'll give it a post. And then I'm going to see who might be able to craft with us while we're live. Hold on. Let's do, come on, there we go. And there it goes. And then we'll come back, and I always love to get pictures of the projects at the end, and we'll post that as well. And I will put that in here in this, probably, I don't know, maybe as the cover photo or something. Not sure. Let me get back over to our feed here on YouTube and see if we have anybody here. If you missed the beginning, I don't know, sometimes it cuts it off on the replay. Hi, Brenda and Peggy and Dusty. Good morning. My name is Joey. My page here on YouTube is called Created in All with Joey. And I am, or is it, yeah, I don't know if it was with or by, where I do all kinds of crafts that I hope inspire you to explore and express your creativity. So I hope you get to come in and craft with me. Today, we are doing a magnolia stencil, and I am going to do a watercolor technique with it. So let me make sure. Yes, we do have good sound. Awesome. Tell me what you guys are doing today if you're here live. I found some new things at Dollar Tree this morning. I was looking for a 12-inch, one of those 12-inch wood panels in their plus section. That's what I wanted to do this on, and I couldn't find any, but I did for the first time. They may not be new, but they're new to me. I found they have a 12-inch square flat canvas panel now. I'm like shocked. So this is only $1.25. The wood canvas, the wood panel would have been $5 or $3. I don't know which. So I was excited to find this. So this is what we're going to be using today. But I found some smaller ones. They have, are these 8-inch? What size are these? Yes, they have 8-inch square ones too. So in addition to their rectangle sizes, they've got some squares. Super excited that I was able to get my hands on those. Where'd I put the rest of them? Oh, back here. Set those there for now. And then I think other people have been able to see these. They have some acrylic boards over there as well. These are 4x6 and also in a 5x7. Now I think these are designed to use with your vinyl that you stick on, but we can stencil on this, guys. You can use it like a chalkboard. You can stencil on it. Take the little plastic covers off the front and the back, and you can see straight through it, and you can stencil on it, and it'll fit in some of the magnolia little thingamabobs. These come in a set of 4, and take a look. You can fit it right down in there, either direction. Now you can get larger ones from Magnolia that are called a board and base. In fact, here's one right here. Okay, so this is a bigger one, okay, and it comes with a chalkboard. This is a white chalkboard. It also comes, you can get a set with black chalkboard. So these are bigger, but if you'd rather, you could fit, this is like this, almost the same size, the clear 5x7 one in here. I'm not sure. I'm going to test real quick and see if the smaller sets, this comes just as a set of bases, will hold. Okay, now the weight of it won't hold. Actually, this is at an angle. It needs to go that way. Yeah, it's too heavy. But you could make some bases out of like Jenga blocks or something like that, or if you have some scrap wood. All right, had to show you those. So cool. Can't wait to use them. Good morning. I see Anita is here and Paisley. Welcome in. I'm so glad you're here. And who else? Did we already say good morning? We said good morning. There's Leanne. I saw Peggy's here. Good morning, good morning. Let's do our project. Let's get going. Let me set these aside. All right, so I gotta get my canvas ready. The stencil I'm using is it's a limited edition, okay? It's only available, for 4 more days. If you wanted to join the craft club with Magnolia, you could get this exact stencil. Yes, I've already used some orange on it and it's a little discolored, but it works just fine. So it says this is just a chapter, not the whole story. Now, we have several designs that are similar to this in, a really gorgeous design of flowers that are outlines. So you can watercolor in those as well. In fact, I had one right over here. This is a smaller flower, but this is another one. Still it has the outline, and you could do this on a canvas or on a wood panel or on a tote bag. Like I originally did this design, and you can fill it in. So this is what it will look like after it's stenciled, but then you will add, if you want to, you can fill in the watercolor. And this was part of that craft club project, by the way. When you join our monthly craft club, you get a surface. It could be a tote bag, it could be a wood panel, it could be, an apron, it could be, I go blank. It could be a cutting board, it could be a wood riser, it could be coasters, it could be all different kinds of things. Every month is different. So you get a surface and you get either a stencil or a rub-on transfer, and either the paste or ink for the stencil or the burnishing tool for the rub-on transfer. So it's different every month. Really fun and creative, and not something that you would see on a regular line, because these are exclusive to the craft clubs. So this one, if you want this stencil, is only available through the 31st of August. This is 2024. If you're seeing it later, there are sometimes chances that they open up the vault and sell their remaining stock of craft club stencils, but that happens like maybe once or twice a year. So can't guarantee it. Good morning, good morning. I love that you guys are talking to each other. Happy birthday, Miss Suzanne, Linda McDougall. I'm going to post that in our Facebook group for our team. Constance cute. Oh, not showing lives on YouTube. Weird. So you're on your phone. Well, I'm glad you can watch, Constance. It's good to see you. Okay, so let's get started. I'm going to set this stencil aside because we're going to use this one. And what I need to do to my canvas, besides getting open the package, I'm going to do it from the back where the plastic is, so I don't rip up the canvas itself. Not where the plastic, where the label is. Okay, there we go. Get this open. You are welcome. Hello, Rose. Okay, let's get the plastic off. Get the little label. Come here. There we go. Get that thrown away. Okay, so a canvas, if you haven't worked with either stretch canvas or a flat panel canvas, I don't think you'll be able to see it, but there is a texture to it. It's fabric that is stretched over this cardboard piece and, glued and sealed on the back. So it has a texture to it. Whenever you stencil on a texture of like fabric, you don't always get a crisp, clean image. This one actually looks pretty darn good. I'm going to show you up close. Right here, can you tell? You may not be able to tell. You get a little tiny bit of bleeding out because the stencil is sticky. When it sticks on a textured surface, it can't go down in all the grooves. And when you apply your ink or your paste, it kind of bleeds under a little bit. So what I want to do with this is I'm going to sand it to try to smooth out some of the texture. So I hope this doesn't bother you to hear some sanding going on, but we're going to try to do this quickly. And I go in both directions. I don't really go at a diagonal. And I just have, this is like a 180 grit on my Gator sander. I just go all over a couple of times, and it knocks down the high points of the fabric texture. Now these canvases, anytime you see them white like this, that means they have been prepared with a coat of what's called gesso, and that seals the fabric layer so that you can paint on top of it. You can put another layer over the top. You can either put a layer of gesso over it to help smooth out your texture, or you can use acrylic paint as well, and that will help fill in those, I got powder on me already, fill in the texture so it smooths it out. Awesome. Okay, so I am going to knock the dust off of it over my trash can, and then we're going to wipe it down. It really gets dusty when you do that. I'm going to wipe it down with something wet. I'm just going to actually wet my paper towel. I don't need to use a wipe necessarily. Come on, get it wet. Just get a paper towel wet or a damp cloth and clean off that powder. You don't want that on your surface when you get ready to stencil. Get all my edges. My dogs are going up and down the stairs. They get antsy when they hear me talking. I don't think they're going to come in and say hello. They already said hello this morning. I think they're going to go take their morning naps. I wish I could take a morning nap. Okay, now I want to let this dry for just a minute before I lay the stencil down. But the stencil is going to fit just perfectly in here. The colors I'm going to use, I'm going to go ahead and stencil the outline of everything and the words in just coal black. I use a paste from Magnolia because it's washable. That way I can take this sticky stencil, it has a mesh layer over the top that holds everything together. When I apply the paste to it, I pull it off and I just put it right here in this tub of water and I wash it, dry it, and I can reuse it. That's why I use the paste. If I used something like paint, first of all, paint is thinner. You're going to see this kind of has a thick consistency to it. It is thinner and it bleeds under the stencil a lot of times, and it dries in this mesh layer that's over the top, so that even if I go to wash it, it dries in the mesh and clogs it. So I don't use paint, I use paste. Now, after I have stenciled, when I fill in my watercolor, I'm going to use paint, and you would have that option, paint, or if you have a lot of paste colors, you could water down a little bit of paste as well. So I think this is dry. Let's go ahead. I am not going to fuzz my stencil because, again, this is fabric, just like the tote bag. Don't fuzz your stencil when you're going to put it on fabric. You will fuzz it, add a little bit of fuzz so it's not so sticky, if you put it on a non-porous surface like a painted piece of wood or a piece of plastic or metal or glass, paper especially, that it will stick really hard to. Any of those things, you're going to add some fuzz to the back of your stencil by laying it on a towel of some kind. But this is technically fabric, so I'm not going to fuzz it. So I'm going to pull it off my backer sheet. I'm saving my backer sheet so when I wash it, I can put it back on there. I'm going to lay it right here. I can pick it up and readjust it however I need to. So for example, if I'm going to add something to the outside of this, you know, I might want to add a border all the way around, or I might want to put something, maybe I want to customize this and put someone's name at the top, write that on there with a paint pen of some kind. I could adjust this so it comes over to the side a little bit and leave a little extra room. Maybe you want to put a bow on it, something like that. So you can move this and put it wherever you want. I'm going to put it, sorry, I've got some sniffles. I'm going to put it right in the middle. And I can just line it up with my edges, and that helps to ensure it's straight. And then I'm going to start smoothing it out. I have a couple of wrinkles. I need to make sure I smooth out, stick this down to the canvas, press any air bubbles out. And yeah, you can really see all the orange that stained my stencil from the ink that I used on the tote bag. But it's okay. I've got it cleaned out, and I'm going to be able to put my paste through it. Okay. Really making sure it sticks down. You can, like I said before, you can paint your canvas first with a color if you want a color of the background, or you can do white. Okay, I did have a couple of wrinkles. I want to make sure they're pressed out. I'm going to get my glasses on real quick. Well, my comment stopped. Say another hello to me if you're still here. I hope you're still watching. Let me just make sure that my comments are working. If not, I will do a refresh on my screen down there. Okay, checking these wrinkles. Just a couple of them. There we go. Now everything is going to get applied some black chalk paste to it. Let me get rid of this. I don't need that cardboard on there. I'm going to give this a stir. Grab a stir stick just to make sure it's the consistency I need. And you know what? I'm going to get a paper towel because I get this on my fingers. And that tends to get on the project where I don't want it to be. So I'm going to keep my fingers clean. So give this a good stir. You want it to feel a lot like sour cream. There we go. Just give it a good mix. Anita's still here. Good. Thank you so much, honey. I appreciate you. And I will get another paper towel. I always keep paper towels on hand and disinfecting wipes for cleaning. I'm going to set my little stir stick over here just in case I need it again. And we're going to make pretty quick work of the stenciling process. I'm just going to dip my squeegee, which has a beveled edge to it, and that's usually what I apply my paste with, and it bends so that as I put a little bit of pressure against this board, it kind of gives. It doesn't dig down deep and move the stencil around. So let's go ahead and just gently glide across from the top area, moving downward over the design, and I'm just going to keep getting, got a lot there. Let's go ahead and glide that all the way. There we go. Now, as I start to run out of the paste on my squeegee, which I actually have way more than I need, so we're just going to go ahead and keep going. If I did, I would just kind of go back over the areas I've done and pick up the excess. Okay, now I'm running out. So, not quite, well, maybe I have enough. Let's see. Almost enough. Almost enough. Okay, so at this point, everything is covered, and I have a little extra on here. I'm just going to swipe it back in the jar. Might as well save it, right? Try not to get it all over my fingers. All right, now this is a very thick layer, and I need to thin this down so it's not too thick and kind of, you know, when you pick up your stencil and you have too much, it'll kind of glop over. I don't want that. So I'm going to clean off. I'm going to give a little more pressure and pick up my excess and just swipe it into the jar as I do. Don't press too hard. The harder you press, the more chance you have that it will push underneath the stencil and bleed out. So not too much pressure. Okay, there's a couple of little spots I missed down here that I can see. Looking through. All right, I'm going to keep this on hand just in case I missed something. Clean my hand off. We'll go ahead and lift the stencil. I'm going to pull it from the top side down, and I'm going to do it slowly so that if I did miss something, oh, this is so pretty, I can go back and fix it. Oh, it looks so good. It came out perfect. So I'm going to go ahead and drop this in my little tub of water, the top side down so my sticky side is up. Put that in there, and I just push that down a little bit into the water. Technically, what I recommend is you take it straight to your sink, wash off your paste. You can use something that we call a stencil cleaner to get the top side clean, and then the back side you use your hand. Once it's completely clean, you'll lay it upside down just like this with the sticky side up on like a drying mat or a towel and let it dry, okay? And then when it's dry, you put it back on the backer sheet and you can reuse it. Now there's a chance we might need to reuse this. So I'm done with my squeegee. I'm going to go ahead and wash my stencil real quick, and I'll tell you why while we're doing it, okay? So let's set this aside to dry. Let me show you. Look at how pretty that is, just like that. Oh my goodness, it's so pretty. Just so pretty. But I thought, let's add some pop of color. So we're going to let this dry. Let me set it in a safe place, which is hard to find in this craft room. We'll go ahead and wash our stencil. Oh, see, it's not safe around here. I'm throwing stuff and dropping stuff. I'm going to get my tacky towel here that's going to help me clean my stencil, but not just yet. Let's move this around in the water and see if I have a stencil cleaner over here, and I don't. So let me grab one real quick. This is a portion of a stencil cleaner. It comes in a rectangle shape. It's just see that little nubby texture on the outside? It makes it really easy to clean the fabric layer of the stencil. This has been cut down. I cut about 4 pieces usually of a single stencil cleaner and just use it one little 1-inch strip at a time. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this one more time. I've already cut it twice, or cut it in half before, and I'm going to cut it again, and I'm just going to use one of these pieces. It will dissolve over time, and so I don't want the whole thing dissolving all at once. This just makes it last a little bit longer for me. Okay, so let's press it down. I'm going to let the water do a little bit of work. Pretend this is your faucet running over the stencil, getting some of that paste off. There's a whole lot of paste on there, so that's why this water is like completely black. Whoop! Don't slop it on yourself. Okay. So we've got some of the paste coming off. Let's switch over. Well, actually, I'm going to flip it over. You won't be able to see this part very well because the water's so dark. I can flip it over and use, which one did I have? Doesn't matter. Use my stencil cleaner on the fabric side, the top side of the stencil. Okay. And this is going to get some of that paste off. It works so much better at your sink, guys. Isn't the black and white pretty, Anita? You keep thinking today's Wednesday, Constance? Oh, don't rush me through this week. Tuesday's just fine with me. We got a lot going this week. I do have, just so you know, I have an announcement that's going to be happening. It can't happen until later today. So that'll be over on my Facebook page. I put a link to that in the description of the video, so if you haven't been to my Facebook page, you can go check it out. Get some of this black water out of my... Okay, I got a lot of the paste off. In order to see what I'm doing, I'm going to put it on the back of my tacky towel and swipe off the rest of it. Okay. Here we go. Okay, so this is still a little bit black, but now I'm going to be able to get the rest of my paste cleaned off. Now, the reason I'm washing this, guys, I'm going to be watercoloring the design. If you didn't hear in the beginning, we're going to add some color to inside the flowers. When I do that, it might overlap those lines and make those really pretty black lines a little bit, oh, I don't want that, a little bit faded. Like, you know how when you put paint over, even a black paint, it kind of dulls it a little bit. And I really don't want any of the lines to be dull on the design. So I may end up having to go back over it with the stencil over the top. What that does is allows that black to really stand out as the definition of the design. So the first layer is like I'm putting down the design of like on a coloring sheet, you have the outline, right? And then you go in and you color. Well, we have the opportunity to go back over it with the black lines to make them more dominant again. If we need, that dryer doesn't want to stay anywhere. If we need to, stay there now. Okay, this is a disinfecting wipe. If you didn't see what I was using, it's not a baby wipe. You can also use water wipes. Don't use baby wipes. They have oil in them. Disinfecting wipes, any old brand, the store brand, you know, the Lysol brand, Clorox brand. Just try not to use anything with bleach. But this is going to get the last, you can see just the last little bit of paste off. And I can also wipe the back of my stencil. It's going to help to get any paste that got stuck to the back off and make it a little bit more sticky again. Because every time you wash it, every time you use it, it is going to get a little less sticky. But using these wipes on the back helps to like rejuvenate that stick because it's getting the fuzz and the debris off of it. So let's get this bottom edge a little bit more. All right, we're good. So now I'm just going to actually set this whole thing aside, switch back over to my canvas. I'm going to set that here. Put this where that was and let it finish drying just in case we need to use it. If we don't, then we'll just put it back on the backer sheet. Oh, this is so pretty. So pretty. Okay. Let's see if this is dry. I think I see it's a little bit damp still. Okay, now the dryer is going to come in handy. I had to dig it out of the trash can twice. We're going to get this dry the rest of the way. Usually work from home Monday and Tuesday. Oh, okay. Oh, and Adela's your dog, right? So you're at the office. Oh. Had to make coffee. Hey, well, cheers to you. I've got my coffee. This is in my to-go because I had to run to Dollar Tree to find the canvas. Yeah, I do like the black and white. But we're gonna add a little bit of color to this. So I've got some Waverly paints here. I went ahead and got pumpkin out. I want to make a little bit of it, and I'm gonna water these down so they're like watercolor. So they're real pale. So we're gonna have the orange. I've got some maize. I've got some ballet slipper. I also got my cashew out to give kind of a creamy color. And then moss is going to be for the leaves and the stems. We're not going to be able to paint all of this, guys. I'm going to see how far I can get. I really want these thick areas of the black. It's actually what I need to concentrate on. They have to be 100% dry in order to add the color so it doesn't dissolve it right away. So make sure it's good and dry. I'm going to start down here on the bottom flowers, I think. So we'll start with one color at a time. Let's go ahead. I'm going to do some moss in a minute, but I'm going to start with the orange and the yellow on these two flowers. So let's start with some orange. If it's too deep in color, I can lighten it to more of a pastel. I've got some, where is it? Some plaster color over here. And I also have white. But let's add, and we're just going to do a little bit at a time, guys. I want to make sure I have a small enough brush to work into those areas. Hang on. Get one of my, I might use that one. Where's my angled brush? I like my angled brush. Let's start with the angled brush on the orange. Oop. All right, so actually what I'm going to do is scrape off the little cardboard paper in there. And we'll start with that and see if it's enough. So add some water over here and mix the orange. I need it to flow more like a watercolor paint. So it's gonna, see how that spreads out? It really, adding the water to it makes it go quite a ways. You know what, I also have some watercolor pens, but I don't know what the consistency will be with the paint. I'll have to play with those to find out how well they work with this. I haven't done it before. Okay, I've got a lot of thick paint on my brush, so let me get some of that off. And let's just work with the watered down paint. All right, so I am going to try to stay off of the lines as much as I can, just so that I don't have to go back over it if at all possible. We'll see how this works. Is your hearing dog? Oh, okay. Okay, so I want just to start with a tiny bit of paint. And I am going to start in the middle of the flower and just dot it on. And then I'm going to use the very tip, because this is an angled brush. I don't know if you can see it there. So I can get the very tip of it in between. Yeah, okay, I am going to have to go back over this. I'll show you why. I'm going to go ahead and get all of this petal painted and then show you exactly what I thought might happen. But stay inside the lines, guys. There. It's not going to run anywhere. It's a really pretty color. It's actually kind of dark. Can you see how it dulled the lines? Now you can't see those lines really well defined. I really wanted it thinner. Let's see how that dries. Just going to lighten up a little bit maybe. I didn't want it quite so dark. Oh well. We could have added more water. Let's go ahead. So what I'll do is I will wait until the entire, all of the areas that I'm going to be filling in, wait till all of those are painted and then come back over it. Just lay the stencil, make sure it's completely washed and dried. Lay the stencil back over the entire design. The key with it is to line up. I start basically in one corner and then I look at the other corner and I line those up. And then I start looking at the rest of it to make sure it's lined up. So you're just, that's another reason to use a dark color as your background, or as your outline, I should say. Then you can see it really well when you're lining up your stencil. Okay. So we're going to get this one done. And we'll do the yellow next to it. So we're going to go with bright colors more than the pastel. That's okay. I should have tested it out like on a paper towel or something to see what the color was going to look like. Just a tiny bit at a time, and this is where my flowers overlap. So I'm going to work around that one. You could do all your flowers the same color if you wanted. What colors would you pick? I picked these because they look like poppies to me, but these, there are all different colors of poppies. And a lot of them are pastel, so that's what I was hoping to go for. But this is what we got. And my petals are coming out a little bit different just depending on how much paint I have on my paintbrush. And that's, I like that. I like the variation of it. Let's see, I think that petal needs to go all the way in there. Let's just go all the way down with it. Oh, that's a leaf. Oh well, now it's going to be a petal. Okay, there's our first flower filled in. Thunder and supposed to rain every other day. Oh my goodness. Okay, now I'm going to lay this wet disinfecting wipe over my orange paint tray to keep it intact so that it doesn't dry out with my fan. And that way, hopefully I don't have to mix up more paint. I'm going to wash this out and we're going to use it for the yellow. So, get it. Got a little jar of water here. It's kind of soapy water. Get my paint out of it. There. And we'll get some maze going. Does anyone besides you still try to see figures in the clouds? Oh my goodness, that's funny. Okay, let's get some yellow and water. Mix this together. I have less yellow paint here. I'm trying to be smart so that I don't have just a ton of it. I think I need a little bit more, just so that we can go with kind of the same consistency we had with the orange. Keep it the same all the way around. All right, that looks good. I'm gonna go ahead and put my lid on so this doesn't dry out. Send some your way. Back up in the upper 90s. Oh yeah, we're still there, Constance. We are warm here, but it's slowly getting cooler. All right, let's do this little yellow flower. This little flower in yellow, I should say. Now, if you're not trying too hard to avoid those black lines, you're going to be able to go a little bit faster. This kind of came out like cashew. It's so watered down. I think the cashew, when I watered that one down, is going to be really pretty. Just give me kind of a creamy color. Okay, I'm getting out of the lines. Slow down, Joey. I might have too much paint on my brush too. Excuse me. Little bit of allergy fun going on. I deal with that year round. I think it's dust. I'm sure it's also my dogs. And that makes me sad, but I'm not getting rid of my dogs. I would rather deal with allergies and take medicine for it than get rid of the dogs. So I don't know if anybody else is the same way. There we go. Once you've got your paint on and it is starting to go over those black lines, don't go over and over and over it, because it will work to dissolve that paste and then it kind of mixes in with your color of paint. So I got a little extra there. So there's our little yellow flower. Almost looks like a daisy, doesn't it? It's so pretty. Let me do, since I've got my yellow paint here, I'm going to do some buds over here in the yellow while we've got this going. And we'll be doing more flowers in the color as well. But I'm just going to do those buds and this right here, because this looks like it's all coming from the same stem. Go ahead and do this one. I might come over here and do another orange one too. But we'll do this for now. We'll do these two colors for now. And then let's go ahead and do some leaves. Now I'm looking at it just to see if I missed any that I want to. No. Okay. I'm also going to tuck this underneath my little wet cloth. And we're going to get moss going. And then we'll stop, and I think that'll be it for today. I missed some petals. Hold on that little flower, my yellow flower. I missed some petals down here. This is like a just opening up flower right there. Okay. Allergic to pet dander? No way you're getting rid of your dog, Leanne. You and me both. Oh my goodness. Southeast Texas is getting rain. Hey, hallelujah. We had some good rain like a week or so ago, and we haven't seen any since, unfortunately. I really like this paintbrush. I think I need to get a couple more in this same shape. Okay. Now we're going to go with our moss for the leaves and stems. And there's quite a bit. Hello. Well, that's gooey. Let's water it down. Blend it in. These trays already have paint in them, but it's dried. This paint's not coming off. It's acrylic paint. So I just continue to use, I rinse them out, wipe them out, and I use the trays again and again. All right, so we've got our moss. Let's put the lid on here before it dries out. You sneeze all the time, Anita. Oh my goodness, we have 13 watching. Thank you so much. I just have a little baby page here on YouTube. We are growing. Thank you so much for being here with me today. And if you have questions, let me know. I won't be able to see this live chat after we're done for very long. I'll try to answer what I can. But if I don't get to answer it, then come back on the replay and ask again. Or you're always welcome to message me through Facebook Messenger on my Facebook page, which is also called, like I said earlier, Created in Awe, over on Facebook. Okay, that covered up quite a bit of those lines, so that definitely needs some me to go over it with the stencil again. Okay, I'm doing all of these same shape leaves in the color that we have here. I will probably water it down a little bit more. There are 3 different types of leaves. This one I probably should have done the lightest. That's okay, it is what it is. Let's kind of soften that just a little bit. I know I'm going back over it, but, oops, sorry, I bumped my mic. Let me see. Let's go to these leaves here. And we're going to get a little bit of this paint, but I'm going to add some more water to it to make it a little bit lighter, a little more sheer. Okay, and we'll do these. It's the same tone, it's just lighter, so that the leaves, you know, because they're different. Get down into this little tip here, and then I'll show it to you so you can see the difference. I'm going to go ahead and do a couple more that are like those right in here. That one and these. Oh, that's a lot of paint there. Might have to soften that up a little. This is almost like doing a paint by number where you're like, oh, and this is that color, and this is that color. Whoops, got into my flower a little. Oh, there's more. See, I found another one. And if I can have my paint colors in separate trays, then I can come back to it and when I find more leaves that need that color. That might be all of that color of leaf. I'm looking. Nope, there's another one. Hang on. It just doesn't have as many leaf markings in it, so it was different to see. I'm going to do the base of this flower in that color and this stem. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and do my stems all in this color. Just real quick. There's a stem. I love how it comes out. It's a watercolor and it's just so soft and pretty. Looking for more stems. Let's go ahead and do the base underneath the petals on these. Okay. Oh, I think this is going to be this color also. There. Let's do that. Making sure I didn't miss anything. Oh, this is so fun. I love doing this. I hope that you guys enjoy this process as much as I do. I just feel like you get to be so creative, rather, you know, even more so than just putting the stencil down onto the surface and applying your paste. You get to really add yourself to it. Okay, catching the bases of all the different flowers that need the green added real quick, and then I'm going to show it to you. And I'll still hold on to this just in case I missed something. Oh, see? Missed this. Step back. Couple of white spots in here. After my moss dries, I always tend to see spots I missed. Okay. Oh, get these off my face so I can see you guys. What do you think so far? There's our we have some extra yellow flowers over here, and then I started putting the green. It might be hard for you to see. There's a leaf here, and then, oh, I missed a stem. Need to do that. But see how up in this area I did the base of the flowers? Okay. So let me get, where did it go? Where did it go? I saw a flower base. Oh, right here in the middle. I need to catch. Okay, and then what I think I will do is I'm going to add a little more moss into this mixture for the third kind of leaf. Let's go ahead and do that. This is just distilled water, so I can put it right into the jar and add more paint into it, because distilled water is what I would spray in there if it dried out. So our last type of leaf is going to actually have a pretty thick coat of paint. And I think did I say I was going to be done for now? I think I lied. I'm going to do more. We're going to put a pretty thick coat on. There's just a few more leaves. These are the bigger ones, so I'm a little more confident using the thick paint on the bigger leaves. I might have to get a little paintbrush out for the smaller ones. But we'll see. So we are going right over all the black lines, and then we'll come back and stencil them in again to see the all of the defining outside lines and inside lines that we are missing now because we're painting over them. Getting some of these down here. And then that's pretty much it. Once I've got everything painted in, oops, this one, I will make sure it is 100% dry, and then I'll come back over it with the stencil just like you saw me do in the beginning. We'll line it up with the lines that are already here. We'll stencil back over it with the black paste again. Once that is dry, we will seal it, and I'm going to show you the sealer that we're going to use. Oh, found a stem. Get a couple more leaves. Got a loose bristle right there. There we go. Brush hair, whatever you call it. There we go. And if I miss a couple of spots, honestly, it's okay because this is like a watercolor. So it's not, doesn't have to be perfectly all filled in, right? Let's get a little more here. Whoop, don't. That's okay, that's gonna be fine. Once I re-stencil it, you won't be able to tell it went over the flower a little bit there. Let's see. Let's see, I'm looking for some more of these leaves. There's one, or the tip of one. Just be careful. And if it's really bad, if I've gone way out of the line and I'm not happy with it, I'm just going to dot a little bit of water, a little bit of white paint over it. We just fix it that way. Oh, we've got these leaves right here in the middle I missed. I like to start at the outside edge and work my way in. And the less paint you have on the brush, the better. So just put tiny bits on your brush at a time. These are all leaves back here. Okay. No, one more. One more. And I think we've got them all. I don't know. I keep saying that's it, but then I keep seeing more. That's just how it goes. Okay, should we do a pink flower real quick? You want to see a pink flower before we stop? I think I got all the green. Isn't it pretty? Oh, 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 it's so pretty. You want to do a green? Stick with me. Let's do a green. No, a pink. We've got ballet slipper over here. I need to get that cloth wet again, just in case I want to use them. We've got another tray. What's Peggy gonna do? You want to do this? You're gonna try to do this on, on glass, Peggy. Be careful adding too much water to whatever you paint on there, because I don't know, it might pool up on you. I don't know for sure. Oh, my ballet slipper's kind of thick. Let's see. Trying to get this paintbrush clean again. You want to do it on tote bag? Peggy, what stencil are you going to use? You can get your tote bags from Magnolia. I know you can also get them from like Hobby Lobby and Walmart. The tote bag that came in the club kit is the same one that you can buy on our website, the one I showed you at the beginning of the video. Okay, let's get our pink. Let's just get some from right here. I need to work on my paints. They're getting thick. Thin this down. This is ballet slipper. It's what I have. You can also use, like I said at the beginning, you can use your Magnolia paste colors. Sometimes when I get those really thinned down with water a lot, they get a little bit grainy looking. That's one of the reasons I didn't. But if all you're going to do is add a little bit of water to make them more like a paint consistency rather than the paste, then you are fine. But these super thin ones, let's do this one in the pink. The thin ones I wanted to have in the paint. And you can use acrylics, you can use actual watercolors. The more water you use though, the less you want to like go over and over your design multiple times. Okay, let's get another one. Let's do this one pink. Let's do a big one pink. Let's do this one up here. Oh, I missed a leaf. So glad I didn't dump my green paint. That's a leaf right there. Silly. That should have been in your green color. It's okay. We'll use it. We still got our paint back here, and I'm going to finish the painting here, and then do that stenciling. Now, I won't finish this painting live with you. This is going to be my last one, but I hope you've gotten a pretty good idea. And I think the centers of my flowers, I'm going to come back in with the green again, the very, very pale green. I was looking up colors of poppies, and I think Lakeside, no, not Lakeside. That might be the company that was selling the seeds. Icelandic, that's the name of the poppy that I was looking at that showed me all of these really pretty pastel colors. And that's what I was so excited about. I was like, I could do all the colors. I'm so happy. There's one more color I'll be adding in, which is the cashew. But there is some ballet slipper for you. Whoops, let me get these little spots right here. And I'm going to go ahead and do a bud next to it, just for fun. There. What do you think? You haven't seen this stencil? Wait. Peggy was talking about the Aloha Birth of Christ stencil. Is that one of the ones from the Christmas collection? Now you can really see on the pink one how it has covered up all of our lines. Once it dries, you'll see those lines better, like you can down here. See how you can see them better now that the orange is dry? When the pink is dry, you will too. So if you like that, you can leave it and you don't have to go back over it. So I'm going to have to wait and see. Some of my green, my leaves really lost their definition. So that I am going to go back over this with the black. But that's how that works, okay? Once it's dry, I just take, and I won't do this for real, but I'm going to kind of hover over. I just lay the stencil down, I line it back up, and I just do my black paste right back over it. And then it gets sealed with a clear spray. Now, if you want a glossy finish, use a gloss. I use a matte. Any kind of clear sealer works. You want one that's not yellowing, if you can. And then you can hang this. You can attach a hanger to the back of it, like glue on a couple sawtooth hangers. You can stand it up on an easel. I have a little easel over there. I think this is going to be perfect for this. Isn't this so pretty? I think I'm going to give this one to my sister because she is quite the reader. I think she's going to like it. Oh, thank you, Marlene. Yeah, if you guys enjoyed this, give it some thumbs up and subscribe if you're not already subscribing to the channel. Go check out Facebook too, because you'll get to see how I did the tote bag on my Facebook page, and you get more information about the club in the comments as well. But like I said, any of our floral stencils that don't have the flowers filled in is going to work with this technique. So I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for being here live with me on YouTube. I will be back again next week, and you can catch me in the meantime over on Facebook. So if you need the supplies, check the description of the video or message me if you have any questions. Thanks for being here. Have a great day. Bye-bye.